One of the most important elements in a church, I believe, is family ministry. Now, when I say family ministry, I'm not talking about do you have a kids program, do you have a youth group. What I am talking about is being able to minister to the modern day family. For the first time in the North American church's existence, we are dealing with a generation of parents who did not grow up in the church. For the first time ever, these parents of young people, of children, are coming into our churches and they don't know what mom and dad's church did. They weren't told about the Bible growing up. So we have to make sure that we are not relying on an outdated model to do family ministry. We have to make sure that we are prepared to answer some hard questions, some in-depth, insightful questions that are being asked from situations that the church has never been asked before. And we have to make sure that we're prepared for that. We have to be ready because this is an opportunity that is unique to the church. We have, for the first time, people that aren't coming with preconceived ideas of what church is. They're coming in completely raw. And that is an awesome thing because God is drawing them in, because even though they are far from God, God is not far from them. He is calling out to them. He is reaching out to them. He is drawing them into our churches, and we as churches have to be ready to answer those questions. I believe that our enemy hates families. You can see the evidence of that all around us. If you were to walk into just about any church in North America today and ask the people, please raise your hand if your family, whether it be you yourself or your children or your grandchildren, have been affected by divorce, it is not unrealistic to say that over half of the people would raise their hands. Now, when I say that the enemy hates families, here's why I believe that he does. You see, marriage is compared to the relationship of Christ to his church. The enemy, although he willfully rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven, he hasn't forgotten that relationship that we have as Christians that he cannot have with God. He knows that, and he hates it. He hates that comparison. And so he is doing all he can to destroy families. We have to do something to remedy that. As a church, we have to make sure that we have family ministry. A number of years ago, when I was out of ministry and beginning to dip my toes back in and get ready to take that plunge again, I was speaking with a friend on the phone, and he had asked me what my view on ministry was after having been out of it for a few years. And I shared with him that I saw that there were families that were in need and that there was an opportunity for churches to go into that harvest field and to see a great harvest, but that we needed to have a different approach, that we needed to find a way to integrate children's ministry into youth ministry, into college ministry, into family and married ministry, and that synergy would give us better results. And my friend said to me, well, you're talking about Orange. I said, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, you need to look into this. It's called Orange. So I looked into it. And I found that there is people with much bigger brains than me who have done a much better job of articulating the need and how to address that need. And I was blessed enough to be able to go to an Orange conference. My wife and I went 2 years ago. And the approach that they have, the resources that they use are fantastic. And we became big believers in Orange. We began to implement that in our own ministry when we came back. We implemented it into children's ministry. We implemented it into youth ministry. And anytime I had a chance to preach as the family life pastor, I was talking about family. I have seen the positive results of that. I have seen the fruits of those labors, and I am a big believer and what Orange does, what they stand for, and that there is an opportunity for churches all over to take those awesome resources, and rather than try and reinvent the wheel ourselves, use what they've already done. But family is huge. And I believe family is key, because a family has an opportunity to be an evangelistic tool unlike anything else out there. Think about this. If you just a family of 4, mom, dad, 2 kids, and one of the children's friends come over to dinner, and they see a family that prays before dinner. The mom has an opportunity to talk to her friends that also have children, whether she's dropping the kids off at school or whatever it might be, maybe a PTA meeting or a soccer game, and she has an opportunity to share with them what she believes, what her family does at home. The dad is out back, maybe he's cutting the grass, maybe he's clipping the hedges, and the neighbor, who also has some kids, starts talking. Again, an awesome opportunity. And that family does life together. They study the Word together. They have an opportunity to explore the Bible together and to deepen their faith with each other, and then be used in their own circles of influence to go out and share that gospel, and then to bring other people in so that people want what they have. But we need to equip the families to do that. We need to make sure that we are equipping the families in our church to have victory spiritually, emotionally. That's the job of the church. That's our job as leaders, to raise up families that will fight the darkness on their own streets.